Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, we are here today to venerate the three jewels. We commit our faith to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and our lives as members of the community he established. We uphold the path shown to us and we vow to learn, to follow, and to share it with others for as long as this life lasts. Please make the 5-point prostration twice. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. To the Buddha, our teacher, to the Dhamma, his teachings, and to the Sangha, the order of his disciples, we go for refuge. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Let us observe the 5 precepts. Panatipata veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu micacara veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Sura meraya majapamadatana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Let us now recollect the 9 great qualities of the Buddha, the 6 characteristics of the Dhamma, and the 9 attributes of the Sangha. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhammasarati Satta deva manusana Buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayiko pacatam veditabo vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Uju patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yaditam cattari purisa yugani Atta purisa punggala esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakineyo Anjali Karanyo Anutarang Punya Ketang Lokasati. Let us pay homage to the three objects of veneration. Wandami Cetiyang Sabang Sappatane Supatititang Saririka Datu Mahabodhim Buddha Rupang Sakalang Sada. Let us pay homage to the Bodhi tree. Yasa mule nisino va sappari vijayang aka pato sappa nyutang satta vande tang bodhipadapang ime ete mahabodhi lokanate na pujita Ahampite namasami bodhi raja namatute. Let us make our offerings of flowers, lights, incense, and water to the Buddha. Ganna sarapaditena dipena tamadamsina Tiloka dipang sambodang pujayami tamonudang Vanna ganda guno petang etang kusuma santating Pujayami muninda sa siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punena metena ca hotu mokang Popang milayati yatta idang me kayo tata yati vinasa bawang Ganda sambara yutena dupena hang sugadina Puja ye puja niyang tang puja bacana mutamang Adiwase tuno bante paniyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya patigan hatumutamang. Let us share the merits that we have accumulated through this Buddha Puja and through our other meritorious acts with the deities. Let us also recall to mind our loved ones, relatives, and friends who have passed away. May these merits that we have accumulated accrue to their well-being. Akasata chabumata devanaga mahidika punyang tang anumoditwa cirang rakantu loka sasanang Eta wata ca amhehi sambatang punya sampadang Sabbe dewa anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. By the power of our merits, may we aspire towards the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Idam me punyang asawa kaya wahang hotu Idam me punyang nibbana sa pacayo hotu Imang no punya bagam sabba satanam dema Imang no punya bagam sabba satanam dema. Imang no punya bagam sabba satanam dema. Let us ask for forgiveness from the three jewels. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame bante buri panya tathagata. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame Dhamma sanditika akalika. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame sangha supatipana anutara. Let us call upon the Devas and invoke the power of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha to shield us from all sicknesses and evil influences. Sappitiyo vivajantu sabba rogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi dika yuko bhava. Bhavatu sabba manggalang rakantu sabba devata sabba bhutanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba manggalang rakantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba manggalang rakantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te. Nakataya kabhutanang papagaha nivarana Paritta sanubhavena hantu te sang upadawe. Nakataya kabhutanang papagaha nivarana Paritta sanubhavena hantu te sang upadawe. Nakataya kabhutanang papagaha nivarana Paritta sanubhavena hantu te sang upadawe. Dedication of place for practice. We dedicate this place to the three jewels, to the Buddha, the fully enlightened one, to the Dhamma, the teaching which we follow, to the Sangha, the Blessed One's disciples. Here may no idle word be spoken, here may no unwholesome thoughts disturb our minds. To the observance of the five precepts, we dedicate this place. To the practice of meditation, we dedicate this place. To the development of wisdom, we dedicate this place. To the attainment of enlightenment, we dedicate this place. For the happiness of all beings, we dedicate this place. For the benefit of all beings, we dedicate this place. With restraint in body, speech and mind, we dedicate this place. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Please make the 5-point prostration 3 times.
Suki Hotu. Happy Wesak to all BUBS Exco, Wesak Organizing Committee, teachers, staff and volunteers, students and parents, supporters and devotees. The world is in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. This has affected our lives and changed our lifestyles, such that we need to observe social distancing, put on facial masks, and take extra care of our hygiene. We are required to stay at home and refrain from attending gatherings and crowded places. The pandemic has become a crisis to mankind, but it is providing an opportunity for us to pause and reflect in our faith towards the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. We hope that all of you are keeping well, staying safe and healthy. It's the nature of life that our body is subject to old age and illness. But we can settle our mind by practicing loving kindness and cultivate the mind for the liberation from suffering. Therefore, this year, we have chosen the theme for Wesak to cultivate the liberation of mind by loving kindness. With the help in IT advancement, we find alternate ways to celebrate Wesak through virtual spaces. We have prepared a series of activities online, including chanting, meditation, and observation of 8 precepts, which we can follow and practice at home. On these 3 sacred days of Wesak, let's all contemplate on the teaching of the Buddha and aspire to continue the journey in the path of Dhamma toward liberation. According to Dhammapada chapter 14, the Buddha, verse number 188 to 194. Human beings who tremble in fear seek refuge in mountains, forests, parks, trees, and shrines. These are not secure refuges. They are not the supreme refuge. One who takes refuge in them is not released from all sufferings. If a wise person were to take refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, he will observe the 4 noble truths with high wisdom. The 4 extraordinary realities are suffering, the rising of suffering, the ending of suffering, the eightfold path leading to the ending of sufferings. This refuge in the triple refuge is, of course, totally secure. This is the supreme refuge. Once you take the refuge, you gain release from all your sufferings. The Buddha is real indeed. Such a real person is not born everywhere. If such a noble and wise person were born in a crane, the crane will reap happiness. The rising of the Buddha is joyful. The proclamation of the Dhamma is joyful. The conquer of the Sangha is joyful. Joyful indeed is spiritual practice in harmony. My appreciation goes to each and every one of you for your time and effort in ensuring that BUBS first online Wesak celebration runs smoothly and successfully. May this merit gain in doing so be the supporting condition for you towards the realization of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Happy Wesak Day!
Happy Wesak Day, everyone! We are BuddySings. We are a music group from Bandar Utama Buddhist Society. And our goal is to connect youths from all over to the Dhamma through our original music. In fact, we are in the midst of raising funds to produce our original songs professionally. So the first song we're going to do is called Wheel of Life. It is an original song, and it is about how if we don't let go of our defilements, we'll be stuck in an endless cycle of samsara. Hope you enjoy.
Oh my friend, have you heard about the wheel of life? How we all go round and round if we don't break free from it. Oh my friend, do you know about the suffering? When your heart aches and breaks, when your mind's unsatisfied, and if we unaware of the things we do, unfulfilled with the love we have, then be assured with what I have to say. I fear that we will live on in samsara if we hold on to all our desires, delusion and hatred that keeps burning within, that keeps burning within. I fear that we will live on in samsara throughout lifetimes, through the realms that we know of, in circles with ego that keeps burning within, that keeps burning within. Don't you see? There's karma everywhere. There's reactions to our actions that we might not see right now. Be aware of all you do in life, for what lays ahead of us. It's all in our hands. I fear that we will live on in samsara if we hold on to all our desires, delusion and hatred that keeps burning within, that keeps burning within. I fear that we will live on in samsara throughout lifetimes, through the realms that we know of, in circles with ego that keeps burning within, that keeps burning within, burning within.
Did you enjoy the song? Do comment down below on what you think. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. Now, aside from writing new songs, we also like to do covers of other Buddhist songs that are currently out there and put in some twists, our style into it. So the next song we're going to do is called Wesak Dawn, originally by the Wayfarers. Now this song is pretty special to us because we've been singing this song since we were little kids, and it brings back memories of us attending Dhamma school on Sundays. So this is our version of Wesak Dawn. Hope you enjoy.
ocean deep. To the one who taught the Dhamma of the Noble Eightfold Way. To the Buddha, dearest sister, lift your tender mind today. Wesak on his feast in softly, tiptoe through the moonlit night. With the flowers and incense smoking loud through bars of purple light. Bids you now to awaken gently, lift your troubled eyes asleep. Tendering thoughts of homage holy, cross Samsara's ocean deep. To the one who taught the Dhamma of the Noble Eightfold Way. To the Buddha, dearest sister, lift your tender mind today.
If you like what you're hearing, do follow us on social media for more music and updates. Thank you so much for tuning in. BuddySings wishes you Happy Wesak, and remember to stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. Bye!
To the one who taught the Dhamma of the Noble Eightfold Way. To the Buddha, dearest sister, lift your tender mind today.
The journey of Banda Utama Buddhist Society, or BUBS for short, began as an idea amongst some Buddhist residents to build a center for Dhamma practice in Banda Utama. To take on the project, the society was formed on 28th March 2000. 9 years later, Utama Bodhi Vihara, or UBV, became a reality. It was built through the enormous effort of hundreds of helping hands with funds of 7.3 million ringgit. Now, UBV is a thriving Buddhist center. It sees a constant stream of Dhamma teachers and practitioners, adults and children, helpers and those who need help. Our first spiritual advisor was the most venerable Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda Nayaka Mahathera. After his passing, Venerable B. Sri Saranamkara Nayaka Mahathero took over. Ayasma Agachita Mahathera guides us on matters relating to the Dhamma Vinaya. People from all walks of life gave selflessly towards the building of UBV. Many of them worked tirelessly behind the scene and even made personal sacrifices. The executive committee, headed by the founding president, led the land application process. They persisted through 2 rejections and succeeded on the 3rd attempt. A team of honorary building consultants contributed their expertise and time. They were supported by the new Center Operation Committee. The groundwork for the future activities of UBV was laid as early as the year 2000 when we rented a double-story house in Banda Utama. On the first day of registration in July 2000, the Dhamma school started with an amazing initial registration of 100 students. By the time UBV was ready in 2009, the Dhamma school had grown to more than 300 students thanks to the dedication of Dhamma school teachers and volunteers. By then too, BUBS had a strong following of devotees. We had regular Dhamma talks and other activities.
It was in 2004, when I first joined BUBS, that time I was looking for a Sunday school to send my eldest daughter.
I joined BUBS in 2005 and was introduced by our late sister Tan Siu Yin.
So it all started when I wanted to enroll my son in the Dhamma class. Along with that, I was also asked to consider if I would also be a teacher.
I was actively involved in providing medical services to the Sangha member.
It's been 9 years since. I've loved every moment of that opportunity of being a teacher.
We come here to learn about the Dhamma and to practice it at the same time. So that keep us coming and keep us going.
Meanwhile, we were also striving hard to raise funds for the building of UBV. It was no easy task, as one fundraising activity followed another, starting from the first Wesak food fair. Yet our members, supporters and friends stayed high-spirited, and their enthusiasm was inspiring. Through their generous gift of time, energy and money for 9 straight years, UBV grew from blueprint into a new place of worship. It was a joyous moment when the building was finally completed at the end of 2009.
Ten years ago, Baksun invited me to his new house. Then we passing around here. Then we thought how wonderful to have a Buddhist center in Bandar Utama. Today is a reality. All the credits should go to all the people. It's a great joy. How nice have one particular religious places to practice this noble teaching of the Buddha.
So when we have a place, then people can come together, people with similar values, shared interests, they come together and they can support one another. There's a mutual support, giving them encouragement, and to be, in a community where we have shared values and we feel inspired by one another's practice and way of life.
The blessing ceremony by 33 monastics led by Longpo Sumedo was a historic moment for BUBS.
Come and taken part in this Buddha inauguration ceremony and witnessed the opening of this very wonderful building, this wonderful structure, and now you have the hard work of walking the path that the Buddha laid down. So the real essence of this Buddhist center is the people who come into it, the people who come to practice and study, work and help out here and help to run this center. So when you come, we have these wonderful facilities. Don't look at those wonderful facilities as belonging to somebody else. Each one of you have a responsibility to give something and make this a better place. So you have to become a person who comes to this center and everyone is happy to see you and sad when you leave. Do not be a person who comes here that people are sad when you arrive and happy when you leave.
Today, UBV stands as an iconic Buddhist organization in Bandar Utama. Other Buddhist organizations enjoy free use of UBV premises for retreats and Dhamma camps. Throughout the year, Many venerables from the forest tradition visit us to teach the Dhamma and guide meditation retreats. Sangha members from other traditions continue to support our activities.
Different people have got different interests, different talents, different inclinations, different temperaments. And that's one of the things about the Buddha Dhamma, is that it's so versatile. It can appeal to people from all walks of life, different inclinations, temperaments, and still it can be very effective, provided the right thing is given for the right person. When the Dhamma values become internalized, then that's how the Dhamma-inspired community can nurture, grow, and develop.
Learning Dhamma provide me with the ability to become a better listener and also keep me calm, especially when I face a tense situation, either during my medical practices or in the clinics and all.
The most important thing that I learned is to be more mindful, especially when it comes to right speech and right action.
Going forward, we are guided by our vision of building a Dhamma-inspired community. Our Dhamma work continues through a wide range of activities offered for the benefit of the community.
What I learned in Dhamma school is the 5 precepts. No killing, no lying, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, and no intoxication.
In Dhamma school, I learned to pay respect to the Buddha. I learned about the life of the Buddha. I learned meditation.
I learned proper sleeping posture, which allowed me to get some proper and good sleep.
When I was young, I used to kill mosquitoes when they used to bite me. But now, after I've learned not to kill, I became calm and peaceful and not to kill any mosquitoes.
The Dhamma school gives young children an early opportunity to learn about the Dhamma.
I like to come to BUBS because I like to meet new friends. Singing.
The food here is great.
And the clean environment.
For the young ones, we have Buddy, which stands for Banda Utama Dhammaduta Youth. And in the pipeline is a young adult connection catering for young working adults.
Dhamma school has created a great opportunity for me to be a part of BUBS Youth as well, which is Buddy. So I have gained a lot of experience as well from Buddy, and that is one of the most grateful feel about joining BUBS.
Children come in, they grow up together, they go through this journey where they learn the Dhamma. When they graduate, the beautiful thing is seeing them come back and talk about their fond times then. I think that is so wonderful, and it's so important that we continue to do this for the younger generation so that we can continue to keep the sasana going.
We bring the precious gift of the Dhamma through regular Dhammaduta activities, including Sunday Puja, meditation, chanting, retreats, free publications, and Buddhism courses. Supported by the generosity of our members, we run many welfare projects. We have regular activities like dinners and pilgrimages for our members to come together and enjoy warm fellowship. At BUBS, we have a motto: a family that prays together stays together.
I'm Teresa. Teresa To, this is my daughter.
Jojo.
And that's my granddaughter.
Haley.
My wife and children also involved. But today they are not free, only my son Zusan is free.
My two boys, they are 14 and 12 respectively. My wife attends the Sunday talks as well. So we come together as a family.
So it's a good place for both parents and children to have Sunday activity together.
UBV offers more than just a place of worship. It provides enormous opportunities for us to serve the Buddhist community and help it grow. We invite you to come and learn the Dhamma and at the same time develop your practice and parami through volunteering your service. We look forward to seeing you, your family, and your friends at BUBS.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. So I'm very happy to be here today at Banda Uttama Buddhist Society in your Dhamma Hall, the Buddha Chetya Hall, with the Buddha statue behind us. A very suitable place for us to listen to Dhamma, chant, pay homage to the Triple Gem, practice meditation. All of us, we have our faith in the Buddhist teachings, that's why we're here. My teacher, Ajahn, used to call people like ourselves, Buddhist practitioners, he'd call us seekers of truth. Because really that's what the Buddhist path is all about, finding truth. As we know, the Buddha statue behind us shows the mudra of the Buddha teaching the Four Noble Truths. And the reason we talk about seeking truth is because finding out the truth about life, about the way things are, ennobles us, brings our mind to a higher, better place. In other words, it helps us to be free from stress, free from suffering, more happy, more peaceful. So the truth is something very powerful, very useful for us. And all the Buddhist teachings are founded on this, on developing understanding of truth. One of the first teachings the Buddha gave was to his own son, Rahula. When Rahula was old enough and the Lord Buddha returned to his hometown, his family sent Rahula out. They said to claim your inheritance, but not so much inheritance of wealth and money in the normal way, the inheritance though of the Dhamma and the truth that his father, the Buddha, had realized, the Four Noble Truths, through his practice, coming to understand the human mind and how to liberate it from stress, suffering, pain. That was the young Rahula's inheritance, and the very first teaching that the Lord Buddha gave Rahula was to teach him about the importance of being honest. So he talked about a water pot. In India, in the old days, there's no tap water like we have nowadays. Everything was done by potted water. You have a pot for drinking water, a pot of water for washing your feet, a pot of water for cooking, bathing, washing clothes. So they had a pot of water for washing the Buddha's feet. And the Buddha said, when the pot of water is turned up with water in it, it symbolizes a mind that has goodness, and it's a mind that loves truth and is honest. When you turn the pot upside down, all the water's gone. It's like the mind of somebody who can tell lies, can be dishonest. There's not much room for goodness left in their mind, because once you can tell lies, or you could say delude yourself or others about the truth, very difficult to ever find true peace and happiness. That was the first teaching he gave to his own son, and then he later taught him about karma, trying to give him the skills as a human being how to understand, to live life in a good way, to become a good person, and not to make suffering or trouble for himself or others, which is probably the most useful thing we can do for another human being. We have to do it for ourselves, of course, but we might have family members, friends we want to help in our life. Well, the best thing is to help them understand the Dhamma, and probably begins with understanding about karma, the law of karma we call it. The Buddha said karma is not a teaching that you just believe in. You know, I believe karma is true, it exists, or not. It's more a tool that we use to reflect, contemplate our lives, to understand how to be more happy and more successful, and to avoid creating suffering for ourselves or others, by recognizing that everything we do has consequences on 3 levels as well, not just what we do, our daily actions with other people in the world, but what we say, what we do, what we say, and then even just what we think is already karma, mental karma. And it all comes down to intention. What determines our the kind of karma we make is the quality of our intention, whether it's good, skillful, or bad, evil, unwholesome. And ultimately that's where human beings have freedom of choice. Because even though we live in the world and we interact with other people, we work, we have family, or even if we're single, we're still interacting with other people. And those people and the events of our life affect us. The environment affects us. But ultimately, karma is something we have to take responsibility for ourselves. We think our own thoughts. We speak, we act according to our own thoughts and according to our own intentions. Often we don't see this. When we're not yet clear on the truth, we often blame other people for everything. Especially when we have suffering, we say, oh, it's their fault, this person, that, or that situation made me suffer, made me unhappy. But the beginning of the Buddhist path is, you might say, a recognition of personal responsibility in life. That what we think, our attitudes, our views and opinions, our thoughts, are the beginning of our experience of whether we're going to be happy or suffer. So this is the beginning of the practice, getting to know yourself, getting to know your own mind better. And the technical term, the proper term the Buddha called it, he said, cultivating right view, sammaditthi. It's the first factor of the Eightfold Path, the Buddhist method for cultivating goodness in our lives and in the world around us. And the beginning of the Eightfold Path is understanding karma, what is good karma, bad karma, and learning from our own experience how to act accordingly. Because once you understand what is good karma, bad karma, then you have to put that understanding into practice in daily life. So the Buddhist path is all about, you might say, a self-education, learning how to be a better person, how to be a good person, how to find happiness by understanding more clearly about truth, about how our minds work, how life works, how things happen for ourselves. Another part of the practice we talk about is making merit. So often as Buddhists we say, I go to the Buddhist center like this or some other temple, we say, I'm going to make merit. But often that's just an idea, we haven't yet looked very closely at what that means, making merit. There's obviously many aspects, parts of making merit, but in brief, we often separate the kinds of merit that we make out into three areas. There's the making merit through dana, making merit through sila, making merit through bhavana. Dana means giving, generosity. Sila means virtue, behavior that is restrained, doesn't lead to the harm of other people or animals or ourselves. Bhavana means cultivation of the mind with mindfulness and with wisdom to understand the true nature of things. This is making merit, and they have all their other parts as well. I won't have time to talk about it all today, but this is what we're learning as Buddhists in our efforts to understand what the Buddha taught. We make merit. This is considered making good karma. And the Buddha often would teach, well, how did we all come to be at this point in our life? It's because we have merit. The merit to have faith in the Buddha, to come to a place like this, to listen to Dhamma, make offerings, do good things, good actions. That's our merit from the past, has brought us here. Why are we born as a human being? Because of our merit. Why are we healthy? Even though sometimes we get sick, it's because of our merit. We have much merit stored up already from the past, and it's helped us to get to this point. But merit is a bit like money. You know, we all earn money and use money, but money runs out, doesn't it? If you don't earn any more, you have a certain amount in the bank. After a while, you spend it, you use it up, and merit is like that. There's one time the Buddha had a disciple, you probably all heard of her, Visakha, a very wise lady. She already was very wise since she was a child because she had merit from the past. She quickly understood the Buddha's teachings. So she's a very peaceful, kind person and very wise. And she always had faith in the Buddha, would always support the Buddha, listen to his teachings with respect, try and use the teachings in her daily life, teach her nephews and nieces and family members. And when she was not very old, she married a young man, son of a wealthy family, and she went to live in his household. And this family, they weren't Buddhists. They didn't have faith in the Buddha. The father of her husband had faith in a different kind of religion. And every day Buddhist monks would come past the house but they would never be invited in to receive food. They would never be helped or supported in any way. And because Wesak was a Buddhist and had faith in the Buddha, this was always a bit of a problem for her. She wasn't happy. And one day, the Buddhist monk came to stand at the gate of the house, and her father-in-law is sitting there eating his breakfast. And he's a big man, very wealthy man, so had very nice food spread out. And as usual, he told the servant to ignore the monk, not to help. And Wesak, not feeling very happy about this, she just said, "Venerable Sir, there's no need to stop here. Here they're just using up their old stuff. You might as well go on." It's a way of speaking, using up their old stuff. On the surface, it sounded like it meant that the father-in-law was just eating a lot of old food, nothing very nice to give to monks, so maybe the monk should go on. So the monk humbly walked on without receiving anything, but the father-in-law flew into a rage. "What do you mean, here we only eat old stuff? I'm one of the richest men in town. We always have the best food, the best things here." And he dismissed Wesak and said, "Go on, get out of here. I don't want to see you again." Very hurt, his pride was hurt. And then he told everyone, told his son, told everyone, "Oh, this lady Wesak, I'm not sure she should live in our house anymore. She's so disrespectful and just complains and finds fault with me. I'm not sure she should stay here." And everybody said, "No, no, no, Father, she's such a good person. She's a good lady, very kind, very wise, helpful. You should ask her to stay. She's a blessing to our house." Even the servants begged him, said, "Let her stay." And he was saying, "Well, I want to send her away, but I'll give her one chance. She can come and explain herself." So he called her in front and said, "How come when the Buddhist monks come, you say, 'Oh, there's nothing here at this house, we're only eating old stuff, using up the old stuff. What do you mean?" She said, "When I said that, what I actually meant was, in this household, you're not making any merit from fresh good merit. You're using up your old merit every day, but you don't make fresh good merit. You never offer anything to the monks. You never listen to the Dhamma. You're not making any new merit in your life. Maybe one day this merit you've made from the past that brought you this wealth and all these good things, maybe it will just gradually run out." And it was valid for her to think like that because she had come to live in that household. She'd married that boy, and she was thinking about the future of her family, and she could see they're heading for disaster, not making any merit, no faith in the Buddha, not practicing the Dhamma. So it made the father-in-law think, because he's a very powerful man, nobody had ever questioned him before. You might say he had been deluded, not understood the truth properly. Now here's this young lady just come into his household telling him. But it did shock him. It's like, "Oh, no one's ever spoke to me like that before." And the shock made him stop and think. And he said, "Okay, you can stay, but I'm going to investigate for myself." She said, "Yes, you should do that. I'll take you to see the Buddha." You're very smart. He already had another teacher, it wasn't the Buddha, but now she'd got him to agree to go and see the Buddha and listen to the Dhamma because she trusted in her teacher and the wisdom of the Buddha. When her father-in-law went to see the Buddha, of course the Buddha gave a very useful Dhamma talk, and the father was inspired, became a disciple of the Buddha, and then after that invited the Buddha and the monks to come to his house every day. Said, "I want to make merit." I don't want to lose all my merit, I want to make more. You're very smart. It's a good example of how we all are in our life. We've all got to this point that we have our wealth, our house, our family, we have jobs, we have money, we have everything on one level because of our merit, but it's not sure, it's not certain. How long will it last? We have to keep making more merit. Even whether we'll come back next life as a human being, not sure, is it? We can't guarantee that. Until our mind has made so much merit, we're in no more doubt. we have to think, maybe there's more I have to do in my life. We don't know how long we'll live either. I hope you all live for a long, happy life. I wish for that. But we don't know, do we? We don't know what age we'll die, whether we die from sickness or from accident. We can't be sure. So the Buddha said, think about this. Life is uncertain. You have your opportunity to make more merit, but are we taking it? He compared life, in the way a Buddha sees the world, he compared life to like the foam on the sea. When you look at the sea, the waves coming in, you get a little bit of foam with the wave. It comes up, it's white, fluffy, and it disappears, it's gone. He said the lives of human beings are a bit like that, because the Buddha can see the big picture, the whole picture. We call it samsara, endless round of birth, death for human beings. You can see a human life is not very long. In a few moments, it's almost like it's just gone. Even though we say, oh, I'm going to live to 80 years old, we can't guarantee that. But even if you do live to 80 years old, you ask anyone who's like 70, 75 years old, they'll say, oh, it's like life has gone by in a flash, very quick. Once you think like this, then you think, maybe I better start making some more merit, because I don't know how long I've got. So this is how the Buddha would teach sometimes. He'd remind everybody life is uncertain, impermanent. We must hurry to do more good. My teacher Ajahn said it's like the oxen who go, that they used in the old days in Thailand, in northeast Thailand. They didn't have cars or motor vehicles, they use ox carts. And the oxen, they pull the cart follows them, and the farmer goes to market or he goes to the fields. And in the evening, when he's heading home, the ox are very hot and tired. All they're thinking about is, I want to get home. They're missing their home, they want to get home, they get food and water. So even though they're tired, they hurry up and they walk faster. He said, human beings are a bit like this. When we're young, we are very careless. Because we're young, we're healthy, we're just building our lives up, we learn things, then we get a job, we're just earning money, maybe have a family, buy a house. We don't have time to think about the Dhamma. We don't have time for making merit. But as we get older and life passes on, we become like the oxen. We start to speed up a little bit because we're aware, we're not going to be around too long. So often, once you reach 50 or 60 years old, you're thinking, I don't know how long I've got, I better make some more merit. But beware, because it's harder then. Like the older you get, just to sit on the floor like this to listen to a Dhamma talk, the older you get, it's harder, isn't it? Your knees complain and your back hurts. While memory goes a bit fuzzy, it's hard to concentrate as we get older. So try to realize, don't wait till you're old to make your merit, start now. When it comes to things, the important things, we think it's like, oh, I'm young, I'm earning money, I don't know if Malaysia is the same as Australia, but everyone makes payments for superannuation, for getting money when they're old, when they retire. They already start when they're young. But often people don't start making merit yet. And yet, what's more important, your superannuation or your merit? Superannuation runs out, doesn't it? You have some fund, you use it, eventually it runs out. Merit also runs out, but it will stick with you. Whatever merit you've made in your life sticks with you beyond your superannuation fund, even runs into your next life. Why do Buddhists make merit for the dead? Well, they're hoping to boost the merit of the person who's died, often because they're not sure whether they had enough merit. Your uncle, your auntie, somebody dies, it's like, we better make some merit for them just in case. But a wise person doesn't wait for that. You don't wait for your relatives to make merit for you when you die. You have to start now while you're alive. Because it's merit you take with you to your grave. You don't take your money and your house, your loved ones with you. You take your merit with you. And that's why merit is so important. So often we talk about Buddhism as making merit. But there's these different ways we make it. We make it through the practice of dana. You're learning to realize we don't live in the world alone. There's many people around who are less fortunate than us. So often we make merit by helping the sick, helping the poor. And we make merit with the Sangha. Because if you have faith in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and you see the Buddhist path as very useful, very valuable to you, or you want to support Buddhist centers, temples, Sangha, and so on. We also just make merit in our families, don't we? You have a family, you have to make merit with your children, your husband, your wife. Merit, the practice of dana, is more an attitude. It's like an attitude of being willing to give, to share, not to be selfish, not to be possessive all the time. So sometimes it's just material things. The easiest kind of dana is always just giving material things. So we share food, we share funds, we share gifts with others. A little bit harder is the giving of forgiveness, what the Buddha called abhaya dana, because that's more inside, isn't it? It comes from your heart. When somebody you're living with or know, they hurt you, whether they really did something intentionally or not, you don't always know. But often we feel hurt, we feel angry with someone over some issue. As long as we can't forgive, we are suffering, aren't we? We hold on to our anger, we're suffering. But if you can give a gift of forgiveness, a kind of dana, you can let go of that anger, you forgive that person, then you can feel at ease, feel happy. So the Buddha said if you practice forgiveness as dana, you're giving a gift of safety, security to the people around you. Everybody can feel they can trust you, they feel safe with you. So a very important kind of dana. And then we have the dana of giving Dhamma. And the Buddha said the highest kind of gift you can give. And particularly you might give that to your family. You give dana of Dhamma to your children. You teach them about karma. What is good karma and bad karma, and how to think about karma, understand karma. Maybe you support your family members or your friends by taking them to the temple to hear a Dhamma talk or to make merit, make offerings. This is giving Dhamma as well. Sometimes we give advice. Sometimes we take our friend on a meditation retreat. There's many ways we can give Dhamma to somebody. This is all the merit of giving. And the Buddha said you practice this regularly, well, you'll become happy for it. Every time you've given something to somebody or in some way, and you remember that, you feel happy. It gives you good memories, you feel happy in yourself. You develop a lot of friends when you practice generosity. You help people who are maybe suffering and in need of help, and so on. It generates many good things. And most importantly, inside your heart is developing the quality of letting go of some of your attachment. Because when the Buddha did talk about the Four Noble Truths, he said, us as human beings, the real root cause of all our problems and our suffering is attachment. You might call it deluded attachment or blind attachment, where we don't see the truth. And one of those obvious attachments we have, but we're always missing, is just this sense of ownership of things. So we practice dana partly to teach ourselves to let go of attachment. For example, we all earn money, we have wealth. If we're not careful, we're always tricking ourselves and thinking, I own this wealth, it belongs to me. And on one level it is true. The whole world would agree, oh, you earned that money, you bought that property, that thing, that's your wealth. On that level, true. But on a deeper level, it's not ours, is it? We can't own anything in this world. because it's impermanent. We can use it temporarily, and then it'll either disappear, get broken, stolen, or we just use it up, get lost. In Malaysia, I've not noticed people having so many house pets. But in other parts of the world, people often have dogs and cats in their house. If you have a dog and a cat, you're always seeing how impermanent your possessions are and how you don't really own them, because your dog or your cat will always break them. The Buddhist, when the dog breaks something, the Buddhist says, it's not self, I don't really own that. And the dog has proven that, or the cat. Sometimes it's useful to have pets like that. But even if you don't have a pet, you have to think about this. We don't really own the things that we say we own. You buy a house, you say, this is my house. What happens? Straight away, the paint starts peeling, the concrete starts cracking, get dirt in the windows, all kinds of problems go wrong, the electricity goes wrong. It's not really yours. On one level it's yours, but on a deeper level it's not yours. It just goes according to nature, isn't it? In that house. And the house doesn't know who it belongs to. It's just made of bricks and timber and things. So we practice dana to teach ourselves not to grasp with a delusion that everything is mine, belongs to me. My teacher Ajahn Chah used to point this out. He said, you practice dana to teach yourself to let go, because if you're always clinging on to everything with this sense of self and ownership, it becomes heavy, a heavy burden. Like most people would think, the more rich we get, the more wealth we have, probably the happier we are. And in one sense, true, it's more convenient, we can do more things. And it's not wrong to be wealthy. But where we have to be careful is the attachment. Maybe the more things you have, the more burdens. Why are monks often very happy, forest monks? Because they don't own very much. Easy. Life becomes very simple. The more things we own, and especially nowadays, the way the world is, the more complex it becomes, and our mind gets caught up with all this attachment. So we practice dana sometimes to counter that. And there's one time a very wealthy man came to see Ajahn Chah, and he had retired from his business. He's very wealthy, had all this money, more money than he could use anyway. And he came to Ajahn Chah and said, I've got all this money, I've stopped my business now, but I still want to do some good with it. And he wanted Ajahn Chah to tell him what to do with the money. And Ajahn Chah wasn't having any of it, because it's like, it's his money, it's his burden, his problem. Ajahn Chah was very kind of indifferent. And the man kept asking him, he said, Ajahn Chah, do you need to build a new hall, or should we do this project, or help that person, or that hospital, or something? What shall I do with my money? Ajahn Chah, I think he got a little bit kind of tired of this man and his problem with his money. So he said, when you come to the monastery, you come over the Moon River. It's called the Moon River. And there's a bridge you come over. And he said, yeah, I know that. He said, why don't you go back there, take all your money, when you get to the middle of the bridge, just throw it off. It's just giving him a teaching that ultimately our possessions and our wealth are not the source of the deepest happiness, and they can actually be a great source of suffering because of our attachment. We tend to attach to everything as being mine, myself. So dana is a very practical way to teach ourselves about this, how to deal with the suffering of attachment, how to reduce it so we have less attachment, less suffering. Then on the level of sila, more subtle, harder to practice. You might think, practicing dana, being generous to people, giving things away, sharing what you have, that's hard. And it is hard, and it's something very good when we do it. But keeping sila, even harder, isn't it? Say somebody gets you angry, just to keep your temper and not scold them, that's hard, isn't it? Or somebody makes you angry and then not to hold on to your angry thought, but to actually let go of your anger and your desire to seek revenge. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard not to follow your greed. Sometimes we get tempted, when there's something around, it doesn't belong to us, but we think, oh, if I have that, I'll be happy. It's hard to control greed sometimes. Sometimes we look at, could be a person, somebody else's husband, somebody else's wife. You think, oh, if they were mine, that would be good. So it's people as well. We get greedy for people. We get angry with people. Precepts is all about this, managing our life so that we don't create suffering through our actions. So we need a certain amount of restraint and mindfulness to know our intentions, to be clear how we relate to other people. So we have the 5 precepts as a guideline as Buddhists. It's quite difficult. We have to put effort into that. But something that's difficult will bring good rewards. It brings us the happiness of keeping the precepts, not harming others, not saying or doing things that harm others in different ways. Somebody who keeps the precepts, the Buddha said, they become happier and happier in themselves because they're not creating problems for others. They don't create trouble in their workplace, in their home. They're patient, they're mindful. Even when they're with other people who don't keep the precepts, who are a bit difficult, doesn't matter, they keep their precepts because they know it's worth it. And actually, somebody who's really sees the value of the precepts, they really look after their precepts as though they're some very important possession and don't want to lose the precepts or break them. So sometimes they compare it to the yak. I don't know, some of you maybe have been on pilgrimage to India. And you go to India, sometimes you go to Nepal, sometimes people even go to Tibet. And in the Himalayas, they have one kind of animal called the yak. It's a bit like a cow, but with very long hair. And the reason the yak can survive in the winter in the mountains is because of this long hair. The coat of hair keeps it warm. So it always looks after its hair because it knows if I lose my hair, I die. So every single hair, very important to the yak. And sometimes nowadays they make fences out of wire and the yak comes along and it brushes on the fence and the hair gets caught. It doesn't just pull away. If you ever see a cow, like I live in Australia, cows, they just pull away from the fence. Sometimes they scratch themselves, they don't really care. But a yak is very careful. He wants to preserve his hair. Maybe the women understand this as well, I don't know. The yak preserves its hair because it's very important. So it won't just pull away, it will very carefully try to get the hair out of the fence without pulling it off its skin. Because it's its most important thing, keeps it alive. The Buddha said we have to look after our precepts like a yak looks after its hair. Because your precepts protect you. Stop you from making karma, making bad karma with other people or just yourself. Precepts isn't just about having good relations with other people, not harming, not being unkind and cruel, not stealing and so on. It's also about when you're on your own, also you keep the precepts on your own. Sometimes we get deluded again, we think, oh, it doesn't matter, nobody saw me. It doesn't work like that though, because if you break your precepts, already your mind has given in to some more negative, unwholesome quality, maybe some greed or some jealousy or some anger. Even if nobody else knows about it, you know about it. You're there. You can witness your own actions. You know your own thoughts. So when you practice precepts, you become very refined, very aware of good karma, bad karma, and you develop what we call hiri-ottappa, sense of shame because you value your own goodness. You know the goodness of being a human being and you don't want to damage that, lose that. Ottappa means you have a fear of the consequences of wrongdoing. You know if I do this, I'm going to suffer. You know it, so you don't do it. You know, when we're a kid, we don't understand this yet. So when you're a kid, you can do all kinds of bad things without realizing. It's only later when you get in trouble you realize. But as an adult, you start to learn that's where we have to practice sila more carefully. You know, if you hurt somebody, it comes back on you. Even if you hurt them in a way that's very indirect, it comes back on you. And you always remember your actions. Even if they don't know, you have to know for yourself. So the Buddha said, the precepts is a very powerful kind of merit making. And every day we can practice the 5 precepts. We think about our actions. What have I done today? What did I say? What did I do? And often you only learn from your mistakes after you've done them also. Sometimes it's a bit painful. You remember something you said, something you did, and you want to kick yourself for making a mistake. But if you become mindful, then you won't do it again, will you? Because you know it's suffering. A lot of our life is like that. We're gradually learning what to do in different situations, sometimes at work, sometimes at home. Like recently, somebody in our monastery came to visit me in our monastery, and they're Buddhists. They try to keep the precepts. And the last year or two, they were complaining about their boss at work. They said, this boss is bullying everyone. Makes them so angry, they just want to tell their boss off, but it's the boss. You can't tell the boss off, you lose your job. So just have to really bite their tongue, practice their precepts, just be very patient, let go, forgive, let go. And they're saying, Ajahn, how long is this going to go on? I said, I don't know, but it's good teaching, isn't it? You just keep practicing. And they said, well, we've got, the company is changing everything at the end of this year, last December to last month. Retrenching, and many people will lose their job, and everything's going to be turned upside down. I'm so scared because this boss is so cruel. They're bound to make me lose my job, and they'll keep their job. The world is so unjust, you know. I tried to keep my precepts. I said, well, hold on, it hasn't happened yet. Wait and see. And just before I came to Malaysia, they came back and they said, they're smiling. I said, oh, it looks like good news. He said, yeah, in the new year, everybody's been given their new package, and I keep my job. And the boss lost their job. So, a very good example. Keeping the precepts eventually got through the problem, kept the job. The boss is in trouble now. They didn't keep the precepts, probably. They were a little bit too cruel or careless with their behavior. So if you keep the precepts, over time you'll value them, you see. It protects you, stops you making bad karma, making the wrong decision. And most important of all, you're training your mind already in bhavana, in cultivation of the qualities of meditation. As you probably all know, if any day you keep the precepts well and you're mindful of that, if you practice meditation that day, it's easy. It's easy to sit down and meditate. Even if you feel tired, you basically feel at ease, happy in yourself, because you haven't caused any bad karma with anybody, any trouble. Even if other people cause trouble with us, if you know you kept your precepts, when you sit down to meditate, you feel at ease. You can bow to the Buddha and you can start meditating on your breathing, or you use loving kindness. It's much easier when you keep the precepts. Anybody who practices meditation regularly starts to see this relationship. You keep the precepts, meditation goes better. Your mind becomes more peaceful more easily. You can let go of your worries, your anger more easily, with the precepts as a foundation. It's just like this building. This building is built on concrete foundation. And I know you have many engineers in your committee and people who come here, and they probably made sure it had a very good foundation full of steel, concrete. So this Banda Uttama Buddhist Center won't fall down very easily because it has a good concrete foundation, lots of steel as well. Sila is like that. You keep your mind solid, on solid ground, very firm ground with your sila. Then when you meditate, your mind settles down and you can practice mindfulness on an even more refined level. Maybe you can meditate on the breath, on loving kindness, or Buddho. Very quickly you can attain some samadhi because you have nothing to feel regret about, worry about in your mind. And that's the first value of meditation, is you develop some calm, some peace, so you feel more relaxed, more happy in yourself from your meditation. As you practice that more regularly in your life, it's easier to let go. Easier to let go of your worries, your attachments. So the practice of dana is easier. The practice of sila is easier. Meditation is easier. So it all supports each other. They're like different friends all supporting each other to lift you up. As your mind becomes more calm through the meditation practice, then your wisdom, your intelligence can function at its best. You can see the truth that the Buddha was talking about. So it comes back to this basic truth is, this life, this world I live in, it's impermanent place. Things don't last forever. You know, our bodies are always changing. We're getting older every day. The world around us changing. Even our own mind changes. We have different moods, different mental states arising. So the most important part of meditation is developing wisdom and understanding of truth. So you notice as you meditate how your mind is. And how does a human mind work? Well, every moment you have a thought arising, but because you're calm and peaceful as you meditate, you start to see, impermanent arises, passes away. You see something, and you have vision arise, you have a mental, we call it a mental impression of seeing. But that arises, passes away. You don't spend all your time focused on what you're seeing. Sometimes you're listening. After this, you maybe go out and get some nice food, tasting. Just see the competition between our senses. You know, sometimes you want to think about something, but you see the food in front of you. That's more important. So it's more about tasting while you're eating. And then when you finish your meal, you start looking or thinking about something else. And that's how the senses operate. We move from one sense to the other, giving us mental impressions one after another, always changing. And you start to notice as you practice meditation, they don't last. So even something very pleasant, very delightful, it's good, but it changes. You know, the nicest food in the world, it's nice when you eat it, you smell it, you see it, then it changes, it's gone. It's not like you have that experience all day long, is it? You might like that. Some people get addicted to food. We get addicted to many things. But all the pleasures we get, they come and they go. Once you're mindful, you start to see that. So you start to see the impermanence of this world. Our mental experience, our physical experience, this body, this mind, it's impermanent. And the Buddha had us ask a question. When you're mindful of impermanence, you have to ask yourself, this thing that's impermanent, is it appropriate? Is it correct to grasp it as self, as mine? If that pleasure you experience is really you, well, where's it gone now? You know, maybe yesterday you had some nice food or saw a nice movie or had some pleasure. Where's it gone now? It's gone, isn't it? It's not really you, it's a temporary experience. Painful experience is the same. That's also helpful to know because as you meditate, often we have more painful experiences in our mind as well. Maybe we have some depression, some anger, sadness. But you notice if you're mindful of that mood as it comes up, you can also watch it arise, pass away. It's impermanent. Nowadays, more and more, I don't know if Malaysia is the same, but in Australia nowadays the doctors are teaching people to go, either they teach them mindfulness practice or they send them to a course for dealing with mental depression. Because they say, you just give them pills, that doesn't fully solve the problem. It calms them down a bit, but it doesn't solve the root cause. The root cause is they're grasping to their negative, unhappy thoughts. With this sense of self, they hold on. They don't see them as impermanent. But when they practice meditation and mindfulness practice, they're starting to see, this depression, this unhappy feeling I've got, it does actually come and go. Ajahn Chah used to say, when you're feeling very sad or angry, at that time, if you're not mindful, you feel like that's all there is. You just believe that thought, and you think, oh, I'm so angry, I'm so depressed, that's all you know. He said, but try to bring up mindfulness and then get a clock and put a clock down next to you and ask yourself, how long will this mood last? If you really are the one and the same thing as that anger or that depression that you're experiencing, then it should be there all the time, shouldn't it? You say, I'm an angry person, I'm depressed, it should be there all the time. But if you put a clock down, you time it, you say, okay, how long is it going to last? You wait a few moments, maybe it already disappears. You know, those thoughts, they come and go, the feeling comes and goes. This is what meditation starts to show us. Oh, our own moods are impermanent. It's not that they don't exist, they're not real, it's just they don't last. So you start to see that with mindfulness and wisdom. This is what we call vipassana meditation, when you're seeing the impermanence of your moods, your thoughts, your feelings, this body. That wisdom stays with you. That understanding is what the Buddha said. This is the Four Noble Truths in action. And it could be at any time in your life you're noticing, oh, if I can let go by seeing the impermanence, the lack of self in these things, my mind becomes free. So you're being very angry, but you establish mindfulness and those angry thoughts pass and you say, oh, I finally let go of my anger on that issue or with that person. What happens next if you're free of anger? So the Buddha said, oh, it's like being ill and then getting better. Or you were in prison and you get out of prison. Or you were a slave or you get set free by your master or whatever. You get this freedom by letting go. So the Buddha said this is the highest kind of peace. And as human beings, even if don't feel we're a very good meditator and we haven't done very much, anyone can experience at least a little bit of this freedom when they practice mindfulness. You feel more calm, you see thoughts, moods coming up, going, and then you let them go. Your mind becomes much more happy inside. You don't grasp so strongly, you don't identify so strongly with all your negative moods, the suffering in the mind, so you feel a lot better. This is the value of wisdom. This is the highest merit that we can develop, from dana to sila, bhavana, right up to developing wisdom that sees things as impermanent. That kind of merit is the most valuable, the most profound, the most deepest. It allows you to be very peaceful with whatever's happening. Because all of us in our lives, we have some good experiences, some less good. We have to learn how to deal with them wisely and well. But when you practice mindfulness in this way, you develop this kind of insight, your mind becomes very even, because you understand, oh, this is the way things are, they're impermanent. So you can let go of any kind of suffering that arises in your mind. Little by little, you apply your mindfulness, your mind becomes freer, happier. And this is what we all want. We all want to be happy, be peaceful, especially as we get older, especially if you ever think about, what happens when you die. Well, what would you want when you're on your deathbed? It's a peaceful mind, isn't it? More important than anything else, to be peaceful, to be happy, to let go of all your worries, your anger, to have this sense of being mindful, understanding the impermanent nature of things. The most useful thing to have. So in Buddhism we say this is the highest merit. It's what we're all developing. Like sometimes we get a little bit confused. So I remember there's this famous story with Ajahn Chah. Ajahn Chah, our teacher, he was a forest monk, lived very simply in the forest, meditating, practicing, as I've talked about a little bit today. Ajahn Chah, we believe, was an enlightened master, an arahant. He knew how to free his mind from suffering, to practice these Buddhist teachings until his mind was completely free. very mindful, very wise, and very compassionate, able to help others as well, teach other people. But some people got confused and they thought he's like, he's still maybe attached to the world because he's a very famous teacher, very important. Some people would have a doubt and think, I think Ajahn Chah, well, yes, he gives a good talk, but maybe he just wants to be famous, maybe he wants to be well known and get lots of supporters, all these kind of things. Some people would have that doubt. So once when he was, can't remember how old, maybe he was about 60 or just before, the king of Thailand gave him a title. He didn't ask for this, but he gave him a title in honor of his services to Buddhism, to the Sangha, to the lay community. He'd done so much. He'd established monasteries, he'd trained monks and nuns from all over the world. He did a very remarkable thing. This is many years ago, before the days of the internet and the kind of modern technology, air travel and all that. It was all very difficult in those days, and yet he already became well known around the world as a meditation master. So it was very remarkable. And the Thai king wanted to give him an honor and say, we recognize you've done a great thing in the Buddhist community. So they give these titles sometimes. The king would give a title to a monk, very long word. Ajahn Chah's title was Prat Bodhinyana Thera. And it's considered a great honor in Thailand. And, some people think, maybe he's attached to this. He's just, happy that he's got his title. He can boast about it or feel very happy and show off to his friends or something. And this monk was doubting it. So he asked him, he said, Ajahn Chah, now they've given you this title, before nobody knew you, now you're famous, you've got this title, how does it affect your mind, your practice? The monk was trying to test, you might say, test his teacher. So Ajahn Chah said, I think the best way to describe it, my mind is a bit like the bridge. That same bridge in the other story where he told the millionaire to throw his money over. He said, my mind is a bit like that bridge over the Moon River. And the monks were listening. How come his mind is like a bridge? He said, well, in the rainy season, this river floods every year, say in July, August, you get a lot of rain. The level of the water comes up, floods its banks, sometimes quite destructive. But when the river is in flood, the bridge just stays the same. The bridge doesn't bounce up or do anything, it just stays the same. But then in the dry season, like this time of year, there's no rain for months on end, it gets very hot and dusty, all the river disappears, it comes down to just a little puddle. What happens to the bridge then? Same bridge. Doesn't go up, doesn't go down, it's just the same bridge over the same river. He said, my mind is like that. What the world brings, sometimes they bring a lot, sometimes they bring a little, praise, blame, success, failure, all of the things of the world, they just come and go, these conditions. But my mind is even, it's the same, because my mindfulness is the same, it's all, I can see it all as impermanent. The way of the world is like that, comes and goes, not certain. But the mind of the enlightened one is certain, because it sees impermanence, non-attachment. So this is how an enlightened person deals with the world. They don't suffer with it, they don't get all caught up in the excitement, the success, the happiness, because they know it's impermanent. They don't get caught up into disappointment, failure, they know it's impermanent. They keep their mind with the Dhamma. They have the highest merit, because they have, we call it upekkha, equanimity or evenness of mind towards all conditions. So today I've talked a bit about merit. We're all here to make merit, and I hope you all continue to make merit. Practice your dana, your sila, your bhavana. Follow in the tradition of the Buddha and some of the more modern meditation teachers. For myself, it's Ajahn Chah. I ordained in his monastery many years ago. This is something we can all do, and I'm sure it will bring you all great happiness, great peace in your lives. So on behalf of the Sangha, we'll just express our appreciation for all your efforts in the practice. And may it be a cause for you all to reach happiness, success in your lives. May you all be healthy, live long life. May you keep your faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. May you all be enlightened.
Paritvanam medang samedang varanda avikita citta parittam vanantu sanghe kame charupe girisikaratate chandale ke vimane Tiperate jagame tarunagahane geavatummi kete Bhumma jayantu deva jalatala visami yakkaganta vanaga Titanta santikeyang munivarvacanang sadavome sunantu Dhamma savana kalo ayang bhadanta Dhamma savana kalo ayang bhadanta Dhamma savana kalo ayang bhadanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma Jaya Siddhi Hotu Sampantara กโรติสังฆังวรันตังศิรสานามามิพุทธานุพุทธังสัมมาสีลติติงกันเตจะสาเตจยสิทธิโหตุสัมปันตรายาจวินาสัมเมตุนะโมอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมะเอสิโนนะโมธัมมะธัมมาสัสสวากาตัสเสวะเตนินทนะโมมหาสังฆาสาปิวิสุทธสีลติติโนนะโมโอมาติยาราตาสัตนาติยาสสาธุกังนะโมโอมกาติตาสตาสวาตุตยาสปินนะโมการะปปาเวนะวิกัจจันตุปาโลวานะโมการะนุภาเวนะสุวัตติโหตุสัมปันตานะโมการะสเตเจนะวิลิงอิโอมิเตโจวาเสวนาจมาลานังปันติตานังจะเสวนาพุทธาจะพุทธนิยานังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังปฏิรูปเดสวาโสจะภูเมจักตะปุณิยธาตัสสัมมาปณิทิจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังบาหุสัจจันจะสิปัญจวินัยโยจะสุสิกิโตสุภาสิตาจยาวาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังมาตาปิตุปาทานังพุทธดารัสสังฆโหนากุลาจะกัมมันตาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังดานังจะธัมมจาริยังจะญาตกานังจะสังฆโหอันวัญจานิกามานิเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังอารติวิรติปาปามาจะปานาจะสัญญโมปาปมาโดจะดัมเมสุเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังการโหจะนิวาโดจะสันตุติจักตังยุตากาเลนะธัมมาสวนาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังคันติจะโสวัชชาสตาสัมมนานังจะดัสสนังกาเลนะธัมมาสากาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังตปโปจะบรมจาริยาจะอริยสัจจานันตัสสนังนิบานะสัจจิกิริยาจะเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังพุทธาสโลกดัมเมหิจิตตังยัสสนะคัมปติลโสกังเวจังเทมังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังเอตาดิสานิคัตตวานุสัมมาธัมมปราจิตตาสัมปัฏฐโสติกาตันติตันเตสัมมังกลมุตตมังติอาเสวนาจะบาลานังปันติตานังจะเสวนาพุทธ ลังอุตตมังกังตาปิตุปาทานังพุทธดาราสสังฆโออนาคุลาจะกัมมันตาเอตังมังกลังอุตตมังนานันจะธัมมจริยาจะญาตกานันจะสังฆโออนาวัจจานิกามานิเอตังมังกลังอุตตมังอาติวิรติปาปามาจะปานาจะสัมยโมอัปปมาโดจะดัมเมสุเอตังมังกลังอุตตมังคาโหจะนิวาโดจะสันตุติจะกตังหิตากาเลนะธัมมาสวนังเอตังมังกลังอุตตมังคันติจะโสวชาสตาสัมมนานังจะดัสสนังกาเลนะธัมมาสากาจาเอตังมังกลังอุตตมังตะโพจะพรหมจาริยาจะอริยสัจจานันดัสสนังนิพพานสัจจิกิริยาจะเอตังมังกลังอุตตมังพุทธาสโลกธัมเมหิจิตังยัสสนะธัมปติยโสกังวิรจังเขมังเอตังมังกลังอุตตมังเอตาดิสานิขัตตวานะสัมปะตัมมปาราจิตาสัมปะตสุทิงกาชันติตันเตสังมังกลังอุตตมังติอิติปิโสภะคะวาอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชชาจารณสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิทูอนุตตโรปุริสธรรมสารติสัตตาเดวมนุสสานังพุทโธภควาติสวากาโตภควตาธัมโมสันติติโกอาการิโกเอหิปัสสิโกโอปันนัยโกปัจจัตตังเวทิตาโพวิญโยอิติสุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆอุจุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆญาณปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสัมมิจิปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆยะติดังจัตตาริปุริสายุกานิยัตตปุริสปุกลาเอสะภควโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุเนยโยปาหุเนยโยดักขิเนยโยอัญจลิกรณิโยอนุตตรังปุญญาเกตังโลกัสสาลิเมตัญจะสังพโลกัสมิงมานะสัมภาวเยอปริมาณังกุตังอโดจติริยัญจะสัมปานังอเวรังอสปัตตังติตัญจรังนิสินโนอาสยานโนอายาวตาสวิกัตเมโนเอตังสติงอดิเตยพระมเมตังวิหารังอินมาหุติติงฉันปะกามศีลวาดัสสเนนะสัมปันโนกาเมสุวินัยยันเดทะนาอิจาตุกาปะเสยันปุนาเรติติมหาการุณิโกนาโทหิตายสัมปปานินาปุเรโตวาปารมีสัมปปัตโตสัมโพธิมุตตมะเอเตนะสัจจวาเจนะโหตุเตจยมังคลังจยันโตโกติยามุ อัปปราชิตปาลังเกสีเสปัตตวิโภกเรปิเสเกสัมบัมบุตตานังภะกะปัตโตปะโมดาทิสุนาคาตังสุมังคลังสุปปาตังสุติตังสุขันโนสุโมโหโตจัสวิตังพระมัจจาริสุปตาทินังกายกรรมังวาจากรรมังปะดากินังปะดากินังมโนกรรมังปณิดิเตปะดากินาปะดากินานิคัตโตวานลมันตาเตปะดากิเน
Nothing stays the same forever. Our lives can be something better. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Endings will be new beginnings. There's a time and place for everything. You need to know. Truth is, we live in this world where space and time rules our very universe. There'll be all kinds of moments on this train of life that never turns back. All the sceneries before our eyes will go through changes with the seasons. All the people whom we care about will never be the same when we meet again. Oh, you know nothing stays the same forever. Our lives can be something better. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Endings will be new beginnings. There's a time and place for everything. You need to know.
Yeah, it's called impermanence. The cycle of rebirth, it's a part of our life. So you gotta be prepared. You see, the world goes round in the circle of life, where life and death happens to things we care about. Change can be scary, but don't be afraid, as it gives us freedom. It's the wonder of our life, so embrace your life. Accept the changes. With the changes, make the world a better place.
Stays forever. Stays forever.
Once you understand this, I think you're ready. So come, hold my hand, and together we will sing.
Nothing stays the same forever. Our lives can be so much better. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Endings will be new beginnings. There's a time and place for everything. You need to know.
Let's go.